I want to talk a little Mikko Rantanen and Rod Brind'Amour because there's been back and forth between Mikko Rantanen's agent, Octagon's Andy Scott, and Rod Brind'Amour. And the first thing comes from a ESPN affiliate station. We can't play the audio because it's from the Adam Gold Show on 99.9 The Fan. And essentially, Brind'Amour said this when he showed up, being Rantanen. He said there's 4 teams I'll go play for, and you're not one of them. And the question is, should we have known that before we traded for him? And it kind of.
Can I help him with that?
Sure.
Yes.
So I thought that was really, really interesting because.
Do you want me to read the quotes? I have it here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so Matt, if you want to bring it up there. Brind'Amour said, "There's not been one guy that has left here because they didn't like it here. That was except for Mikko, and he didn't not like it. When he showed, he said, there's 4 teams I'll go play for, but you're not one of them. So there's 28 other teams he wasn't going to. The better question is, should we have known that before we signed him and attempted to sign him?"
Probably, yeah.
Now, Andy Scott, who is Mikko Rantanen's agent, was on the Fan Hockey Show. Oh, that's what he was on. Okay. And he said, "We've got a ton of respect for Rod Brind'Amour, both as a player and as a coach, but in this situation, he's completely misinformed. Mikko, when he was traded, we were solely focused on Colorado, so there was no list of any kind. In fact, when he arrived there, I met him in the days following, and he was keeping a completely open mind about Carolina. He felt it out. It just didn't make sense from more of a hockey standpoint and a style of play standpoint," which, I mean, I think you can see that's the reason. I mean, listen.
Pretty obvious.
Jake Gensel was the same. And I know that people were like, well, Jake just wanted to play in Tampa. It's the offensive style guys that tend not to want to go to Carolina because they don't necessarily want to play that style. But that style is extremely effective, and they win a lot of games that way.
So what's weird, though, for Gensel is he was prolific.
Yeah.
As a Hurricane. In 17 games, he had 8 goals, 25 points, which honestly, that might be the best pace of his career.
I saw him play. I was at a game randomly.
Oh.
And saw Gensel play.
Did you enjoy him?
As a Carolina Hurricane. No, I did not enjoy him. He looked very good.
Oh, right. You weren't cheering for him. And then in the playoffs, he had 9 points in 11 games.
Yeah.
As good as he's always been. So he just didn't want to go there, man. He's a point a game this year with Tampa, which is down from what you'd expect. And
here's how Andy Scott finishes it off. He's like, "This is a player that had a right to determine where he was going to play for the next 8 years of his career. He gave it a lot of thought, even at 4 Nations. After 4 Nations, he hadn't made up his mind, and ultimately, he did make up his mind, and we helped Carolina out by providing a list of teams at that stage in terms of where he would go. But that is the truth. That's how it unfolded. Anything otherwise is just not the case."
I think there's a lot of copium going on in Carolina.
I can't say I blame them. I'd be pissed too.
Well, why? You made the trade.
Yeah, but I'm never happy when, do you think, are you going to be happy when Mitch Marner goes, "I have the right to test free agency," and then leaves?
No, but I think that's very different because if Mitch walks and the Leafs get nothing for him, they made the mistake.
Not Mitch.
2 years ago. Was he a pain in the ass during the process? Well, I'll let you tell that side of the story. I am not sure what the answer is. But when it comes to Mikko, you just went, huh, and you traded all these assets and you got him and you're like, "Welcome to Carolina." And he's like, "Okay." And you're like, "Here's a contract." And he's like, "No, I don't really want one." "Oh, okay, well, go out there and light it up." Also, no. "Oh, okay, well, we'll trade you." "Okay, bye." "Oh, are we better in right now?" "No." "Oh, okay. Are we better later?" "Yes." "Then victory is declared." No, it isn't.
Even the governor of the state said that Mikko Rantanen had fumbled.
Former governor,
sorry.
Listen, Carolina might be fine. They might even win the cup.
I think they'll be fine.
They might even win the cup. Honestly, Stankoven's fit in really well. Stankoven is a great fit.
Yep.
Jankowski, someone tweeted, oh God, who was it? He had a 2-goal game in Carolina, and in 3 years in Nashville, he didn't have a single one. like the bad Nashville, the good Nashville, all the Nashville. He didn't have one, and then he had one with Carolina. They might be fine. They got all these futures and everything, but it's difficult to view them as better immediately than how they started off.
Jesse, has any of this back and forth changed your perception of how that all happened? And just so people know, your perception before the Brind'Amour, Andy Scott back and forth was what?
That they messed up this deal.
And how do you feel now?
They messed up the deal. I think even though like they're playing really good hockey, they're on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Since the trade deadline, they've beaten Winnipeg and Tampa. 2 great wins. Like, awesome, you're playing good hockey. That doesn't mean you didn't mess up this asset. I think Eric Tulsky messed up the trade by trading for Mikko Rantanen when he could not sign to an extension, and they ended up with less value overall for this season. In the end, in 4 years, when all of your draft picks come due, or you make moves at this draft to acquire players with those draft picks, you might be better.
They're pitching those. They're going to do something insane at the draft.
You might be better next season, but if we're evaluating just that trade, you came out this season net negative. And that's, I think, where my criticism comes is you did not win this deal because you were trying to win the cup this year, and you did not accomplish that for your team by getting better at the trade deadline. So I feel like that's fair criticism. If you want an overall view of down the line, you're probably going to end up positive. But right now it's a negative, but in the end, in a few months or a few years, you'll probably be positive. So I think that's that. Nothing you can say now about the fit or him not wanting to play there can change my mind on that.
I think we deserve a Carolina-Colorado final. We deserve it. After Colorado knocks Mikko out. We deserve it.
I was going to say, wouldn't you want Dallas, Carolina? For the Mikko side of it?
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Oh.
Oh, ooh! Given the no, you know what? Dallas is probably better.
Yeah. And Carolina's got a good shot at coming out of the East.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. Well, and then if they do we look back at this trade differently? Like, how can we say they messed up if they achieved their goal, which is a deep playoff?
I think you're allowed to say the team was good before, they're good now, and they could do damage in the playoffs in a highly gettable Metropolitan Division outside of the Caps.
Yeah.
And as long as they don't have to play the Caps in the first round, they're going to make the second round, I think. And so, and you never know what could happen to the Caps in the first round. Maybe some injuries. You have no idea.
Who knows?
You have no idea. But my point is, it's okay to say they were good before. They probably got less good without Marty Nietzsche, but long-term got better. And Jack Drury. But they're going to be fine today. And even if their playoffs are good, I still think it's okay to say they kind of screwed this up.
You fumbled it.
But that's okay.
No team.
Like they didn't leverage their entire future on this.
No team. Well,
they got better in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
No team in a divisional playoff spot right now who has more draft capital right now than the Hurricanes.
No, they're set up perfectly for the future, and they're competitive right now.
Do something crazy. Do something crazy. Just do the Pettersson deal. Just do it.